There's a part of your divorce journey that no one warns you about. And there's things that people don't tell you about. Everybody talks about the silent battles, the unexpected emotions, the things that hit you when you least expected. But I will, and I'm here to share 5 things that they don't tell you about your divorce journey, but you need to know these things. So let's get into it. Okay, the first thing is that your healing is not a linear journey. There will be times when you feel amazing, you just feel on top of the world, you're sure about your decision, you are sure and excited about the rest of your life. And then there are moments when you are wondering, what happened to me? What happened to my life? What happened to us? And you're going to miss the comfort of familiarity. And just because you miss that, or just because you have a low moment, that does not mean that you are not healing. This is just a part of the process. This is a part of the entity of what was dying out. And a thing that really, I used to be so hard on myself when I had hard moments, right? Because again, I thought that there was something wrong with me, because it's not that I wasn't over it, but why was I grieving this? There's a huge grief period that you will experience. Even if you ended the marriage, that was something that you desired, there is still a grief period because you miss the life that you had. And maybe you weren't satisfied with the life that you had, but maybe your future plans or your future dreams that you had, they are no more. And that is something that you have to grieve. There's a lot of grief on this journey, and you have to give yourself a lot of grace. The grief process is not a linear process. So don't be so hard on yourself if you are experiencing a high moment and then you just all of a sudden like fall into a low moment. You hear that song in the grocery store that sparks the memory, or you see a restaurant, or just any little thing that can trigger a memory that can really spark a lot of that can spark grief. And it's okay. The second thing that they don't tell you about divorce is there is what I call a phantom pain. Now, my cousin is an amputee, and he had his surgery like, I don't know, maybe it was like 6 months or a year prior to him telling me this. He told me he still feels his leg and he still feels pain, but his leg is gone. So my point in saying that is, even though your former spouse is gone, maybe you wanted them gone. Maybe they left on their own. But whatever the case may be, you feel the presence of their absence, right? And when you're married, you're used to companionship. You're used to, just that person being there. Even if things were not good, you miss that you are used to someone's presence. And when that person is gone, again, maybe you wanted them gone, but you still experience the pain of their absence. And this is normal. This is normal. Again, this is a part of the grief process. This is a loss. It is normal to miss that person, even though you don't want to be with that person. It's normal to experience the feeling of a loss. And again, I like to call that like a phantom pain, because it's almost like that person is not present. And even like I said, you don't want them to be present in your life, but you still feel the pain of their absence. There's a silence that fills what used to be. And that silence can be very deafening. It can be overwhelming. So that's the second thing I have that they don't tell you. You will miss that person. The third thing is you may lose friends. Now, the third thing, this one really hurt me. The friends that you had in the marriage, you may not have those friends to support you along this journey. And that's okay. It does hurt because these are your friends, right? This is your circle. But a lot of times people they don't want to pick sides. They don't want to be involved. And it also is a reality check for them. And so they actually start evaluating and reevaluating their own relationships. And I think that's kind of scary. It's easier for people to just disconnect. And that hurts. Again, people don't want to pick sides. They don't want to be involved. And a lot of times, in hindsight, I can say if you've never been through this experience, you really wouldn't even know how to support someone. Because it is a very unique experience. And so that is why I'm sharing it on this video. Just the wisdom that I have extracted from that experience to help someone moving forward. But yeah, the reality is our friends, they do not know how to support us. And that's not to say that's okay what they do if they choose not to support you. Sometimes they just don't know how. And sometimes they just don't know how to communicate that, right? And so sometimes it's nothing personal really, but people just don't know how to support you. People just don't know how to support you, and that's okay. And that is why people who have been through the divorce experience, they share openly once they, get over that hump and they're in a better place to share, to reach back and help someone, because this is a very unique experience that everyone does not go through. It's one of those things where, like, if you've been there, you understand the depth of the pain. And again, if your friends have not had that experience, they just don't understand the magnitude of what you are experiencing. So this one right here, the fourth one is holidays. Holidays can be rough, particularly those holidays that are centered around family, those family-oriented holidays like Thanksgiving, Christmas, anniversaries, birthdays. Those can be really tough, and they can serve as a reminder of the reality that you are in. And so I will recommend having a plan during the holidays. If you have family, I will recommend spending time with your family, surrounding yourself with people that love you and support you, or even some friends that are willing to support you. I did find new friends. I'm still connected to some of my older friends. I have found some new friends, some friends that can relate to what I was going through. and, just more relatable for the season of life that I'm in now. And so, connect with people. I met people in the gym that was on the same journey I was. So you never know how you'll be connected with people as you move and process through this journey. And you will be sent the right people in the right moments to support you and encourage you. But yeah, holidays are really tough. And so I just encourage you to have a plan. And that's not to say you won't be sad. I remember my first Thanksgiving. I went home to my family. My children went with their father. I was surrounded by people, but I felt so alone. And it's not that I didn't love my family or my family wasn't there to support me. It was very different. I was used to my children running around. It was just very eerily quiet for me. Yeah, it was just very tough. So, again, surround yourself with as much support and as much nourishment, like physical, emotional, spiritual nourishment and support during the holidays, and make sure you have a plan as well. The last thing is your self concept is going to be challenged. Now, we know that marriage can bring out a lot of inner child wounds that we have. And a lot of times when we do have conflict with our spouse, it is like our inner child wounds like bumping up against each other, right? When you're going through a divorce, your self-concept, your inner child, those are all going to be stirred up. You are going to wonder, am I a failure? What did I do wrong? Am I worthy? What else could I have done? Did I give it my all? These are some things that you ask yourself after a divorce. And again, it really challenges your self-concept because you just wonder if you did enough to make it work. No matter if you did give it your all, you'll still question yourself. You will feel insecure about being divorced or going through a divorce. There's a certain stigma when it comes to being divorced, right? There's a stigma in the church. There's a stigma in the workplace. A lot of people, we feel embarrassed that we're going through a divorce because we feel like we weren't strong enough to make it work, or we feel like a failure because something didn't work out, even though that may have been out of our control, right? You still feel like a failure. And a lot of that is attached to the stigma of divorce, and yeah, it really challenges your self-concept. So what I would recommend is, working on your confidence, like reconnecting to yourself, getting to know yourself again, because you're not the same person that you were when you first got married. So getting to know yourself outside of being someone's spouse, being someone's mother or father, and all of these hats that you wear. I recommend just getting into some hobbies, again, connecting with people who are on the same journey as you, maybe rebuilding that confidence, redefining your life as an individual, getting some core values, getting some foundational agreements, because you have been connected with another person. Now that you are on this journey by yourself, you have to redefine what life looks like for you now. I would also recommend, working with a coach or working with a counselor or a therapist to help you process those emotions. The ending of a marriage, that does not mean that you're a failure. That does not mean that you're unworthy or any negative thing that comes to your mind. It doesn't mean any of those things. Again, it does challenge your self-concept. Even if you were like the most confident person before the marriage, during the marriage, when you get divorced, it really does challenge your confidence. And so I would recommend just, rebuilding your confidence and rebuilding your self-concept, addressing those childhood wounds as well. So that is all I have for today. A divorce can really shake the foundation of your life, and I want you to know if there is a light at the end of the tunnel of darkness. And again, it's not going to be a linear process, and you will fall, but you just have to get back up more times than you fall. You have to reach out for support when you need it from people who understand. And again, that's why I created this video. So if you are on this journey, I am sending you love, I'm sending you hugs, and just know that the night doesn't last forever. You'll be okay. I've been there. I'm on the other side of it. I am happy now. You're gonna be okay.